What's up, YouTube? It's Noé, and I got a pretty cool video for you guys today. So if you guys been following my journey since December, you would know that April marks the 4th month I've been on YouTube. Today, what I want to talk to you guys about is just what my journey's been here on YouTube, what I've learned, how I plan to move forward with the content that I create, and yeah, I just want to do like a little check-in. What are my current YouTube analytics? Currently, my channel has 42 subscribers. I know it's not a whole lot, but considering that a lot of them are unique subscribers, not just family and friends, I take it as a win. For the amount of content that I've put out, I've put about 4 long form videos and I think 13 shorts. What I tend to do is usually my shorts are based on the projects that I'm working for the long form videos. However, for the month of March, what I decided to do was make strictly short form content. So just shorts. That was an awesome experience because it taught me definitely about the lesson of consistency. I wish I would have put at least 2 videos every week in the month of March, but it is kind of difficult, with being a parent, a husband, having a day job and all that. It does make it very tricky to be able to find time to create 2 full art pieces and, record all that. However, I was able to keep it at 1 reel or 1 short a week. I definitely saw my views go up with each video. For example, one of my videos that I uploaded, I'll put it up here so you guys can see which one it was. That one got close to 1,000 views, so that was really cool. That one definitely helped me break out of I've seen it on comments before and YouTube, Reddit forums, the 500 view jail. So that was really cool to see. And the last reel that I put, that one also broke through that jail. However, one thing that I noticed with the last reel I put, my view count would shoot up high and then just drop down to double-digit views and then shoot back up to triple-digit views. And then finally, after 4 days, it kind of leveled out and it gave me a more accurate view count. So I don't know what that was. It might be a glitch in YouTube or something, but if that's ever happened to you, comment down below. Those are some of the analytics I have. I know it's not the greatest numbers at the moment, considering 4 months. Some people I know get their boost and all that in 4 months, but we're grinding slow, but we're learning. What have you learned about YouTube during these 4 months? The first thing right off the bat, I've learned that YouTube is not easy. It's hard. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, especially if what you're doing is already time consuming. In addition to, first of all, you got to create the content. And then in addition to all that, editing a video, that's also its own beast. It's not always just, hey, let's pick up the camera and talk. However, in this case, this video is that way. So I guess you kind of get one of those here and there. But being primarily an art channel, it takes some time. You have to create the art. Sometimes an art piece can take me about 3 days. So that's already a couple days in there. And then shooting it, and then right after that, editing it. And by the way, that's just for a reel. So it could take, sorry, I keep saying reels. That's just for a short. So it could take some time. Now for a long form content, those videos could take me potentially about 2 weeks. If you've seen my long form videos, the average time for each video, the length of each video is about 8 to 10 minutes. So it's a good amount of time, Second lesson that I've learned from YouTube is if you really want it, it definitely helps you to stay consistent on whatever it is that your niche is. So for example, like I mentioned in my first video that I uploaded, I'm using YouTube as a way of documenting my journey as an illustrator. YouTube has been amazing in that. It has definitely kept me accountable to continue drawing and continue to, document it. So it has taught me consistency and accountability in a way that I didn't have before. Before, if I had the feeling, I would draw. If I didn't, I just go and play video games and do whatever else that wasn't productive to my art. However, now with the incentive of possibly making this into a potential side hustle, but not only a side hustle, but opening it to collaborations and just being able to make more out of this than just content creation, it definitely adds an incentive to keep pushing forward and work on my art and document. So How has YouTube improved my art? A lot. YouTube has done a lot to improve my art. Like I mentioned before, it has helped me stay more consistent, and it gives me this accountability that I didn't have before. So as a result, I'm drawing more, I'm finishing more pieces, I would say, digitally. Before, it would take me sometimes a whole month to do just one piece, but having the accountability of creating a video at least once a week has definitely improved my speed and helped me be more confident. I have stopped being so hard on myself on, no, I can't do this, so I'm just not gonna do it, and refrain myself to being, I'm documenting this so that I could see this a couple years later and see the improvement and show that because I wasn't scared to try new things and document it and practice every day, I am now here. If you guys are on the fence of starting YouTube, especially if you're an illustrator, or you don't just have to be an illustrator, whatever it is that you're doing that's in a creative environment or whatever it is, do it. It gives you an accountability and it gives you a motivation to do what you love even more, because you know that you can see the improvement looking back, so do it. Don't think about it too much. If you're scared about, all the editing and all that, it's not that hard to pick it up. Again, if you want to get crazy with the editing, that's something else. But, just making a small video and compiling it, it's nothing that you can't learn with in a couple days. So definitely get going on that. So even with such small results over the 4 months, is YouTube still worth it? Absolutely. I feel like there are a lot of things that I would not have created, including the art that I've done over the last 4 months. I'll put it up so you guys can see it right there. I would not have made these pieces in the rate that I did them, and if I wasn't doing it on YouTube. I feel like I would have, put myself in a position where I was like, well, no one's really going to see these. I'll skip out on putting this detail, so on and so forth. I feel because I knew that I was going to share these pieces, I wanted to push myself. I wanted to push myself in the creativity that I was putting on them, but in pushing my skills to be able to make these what I thought were my current best, and with each drawing, even though one was better than the other one, in my opinion, I knew that it was something that I would not have made if I didn't have YouTube. I feel like I would have just psyched myself out and stayed at the baseline. And yeah, with minimal results on YouTube, I still think that this is worth it. And again, we all want to have huge results. We all want to have thousands, millions of views on our videos. And we all want a whole ton of subscribers. Yes, it helps. You can monetize your videos. However, the lessons that you learn from the work you're putting in, if you just kind of separate yourself from the financial side of things and focus on how you're improving, it's invaluable. And don't get me wrong, I think about the financial side of things like, oh man, if I could just get all these subscribers, if I could get all these views, I'd be here. I can do this for my family. Don't get me wrong, I think that. However, I have to pull myself back and realize I did start this to document, and that's what I'm doing, and it's showing in my art that I am improving. And that alone shows me that if I'm growing here, I'm gonna grow on YouTube as well. What are some things that you would improve moving forward? I think my content output. I would definitely try to worry less about over editing my videos. My first video was edited as minimal as possible. I think I just shortened down some of my I had a lot of ums, and I still struggle with that. That was probably the only edits I did, just cutting down those ums. My second and third video, I over edited them. trying to put memes, trying to put all these sound effects. And although I had fun doing that, I realized it's time consuming, and two, it's not really how I want to put my content out. I love consuming content that uses that. I find it hilarious, but I realized that wasn't really me. So on my last video, I kind of, cut down the last one I uploaded, cut down on all that over editing and just kind of kept it strictly to what the content was supposed to be. And I think it worked out because more people saw that video, and more people, maybe they didn't comment on the video, but they told me in person, because some of those people are my family. They told me, hey, I really prefer this format better. And I think moving forward, I want to experiment with that more, ease on the editing and keep it way more focused, way more direct to what I want to do. I'm not saying I'm going to cut down the humor, but I feel like the humor should come from me and not using a whole ton of memes to make for that, so that's something that I would improve. Content output, put more, whether it's reels, long form. I think I want to do more long form, but I'm not going to limit myself. Another thing that I would improve on is, hopefully the setting. My first videos are all shot here in my garage. I shoot here in my garage because, like I've mentioned, my wife and my son, they're sleeping upstairs, and we don't have a huge condo. So my voice would just, go throughout the entire house and probably wake my son up. And I come down here. It's the easiest place where I can talk to in an easy, like in a louder volume and not have to worry about that. So maybe cleaning this place up to make it look more like an actual, not a studio, but a presentable place to talk. But something about the garage kind of keeps it like, humble beginnings. So we'll see how I fix that. But a couple things that I've done to improve, the production value. Family's been supporting the grind. So I was gifted some lights. I didn't put it on here because I don't have the outlet for it. I'm gonna use battery packs, but they're charging, so I couldn't use it for this one. But I think I have enough light here. And then also I have like a new desk light so that I can record my drawings there. So things are looking up. In addition, I ordered it yesterday. I got mics, legit mics, so I clip on here and everything. But they haven't came. So I was really inspired to do this video, so I didn't want to wait. So, we're going with the old faithful here. But yeah, those are some of the things I want to improve on, moving forward. Humble beginnings. We're going to get there. So those are some of the things that I've learned being on YouTube the last 4 months as an active content creator. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're on the fence of starting a YouTube channel, just do it. You don't need a fancy camera. I can attest to that. I don't have a fancy camera. You don't need fancy mics. I just have my phone, but I'm going to get my mics soon. But again, I made a whole bunch of videos just with this basic setup. And if you have something to share, you have something to say, the right people will come to you. Just do it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I know it's been a minute since I have posted a long form video, so this is very exciting for me. And if you enjoy this content, if you're a new viewer and you enjoy this content, comment down below, give this video a like, and if I've earned it, subscribe. And I hope to see you on the next video. You guys take care. Peace.